Sorry, guys.
Oh my goodness. You're going to love this. She's beautiful. Lilly Belle, what's going on? Open store every day. There we go. Thanks, Lily. Come on.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay. I think I'll sit in this one.
Hi, thank
Yeah.
you.
Sit in this one?
Yep.
Johnny.
Come on, Johnny. We'll sit right here.
Or that last. This
Or that one.
Sit right there, honey.
Jonathan, that
I
one.
don't know if you sit with us.
Yeah, we don't.
If not, somebody's
Take to be a parlor or presidential car would be to have it be the last car on a railroad train with an area much like we have right through that door there where a president could stand outside and give a speech, much like Abraham Lincoln did in his day. So right through that door we do have such an area. That was a great idea that Walt had, and Walt had a lot of great ideas, but Walt's ideas cost a lot of money. So that idea for the parlor car just kept getting pushed back. When the Lilly Belle first hit the rails was 1975. Walt Disney had been dead almost 10 years at that point. Lillian Disney, Walt's widow, who the car is named after, always had her eyes and ears open to make sure everything was being done right at Disneyland in her husband's name. Good for her. She heard that the Lilly Belle rolled out with white wicker furniture inside. Lillian was appalled, to say the least. That would not be dignified enough. So they said, Lillian, it's named after you. Would you decorate it for us? And she was kind enough to do so, thank goodness. Lillian incorporated her three loves of earthy Victorian furniture and flowers. Flowers are everywhere in this car. This happens to be the last swatch of carpeting from Walt Disney's apartment. So if I see you taking a picture of it, I won't think you're weird at all. I would totally do the same thing. They're in the carpeting, they're in the bouquets, they're in the white draperies, and in the inlay of the wood above you, all for Lillian. Walt loved Himalayan mahogany wood, and that is what this car is made out of. So, have we had dry rot? Absolutely. Have we had termites treating us like an all-you-can-eat buffet? Positively. But Disneyland has kept this immaculate. The very first person to step foot in the Lilly Belle was the Emperor of Japan, Mr. Hirohito. He was so appreciative for his trip to Disneyland that he presented the Disney family with a smoking jacket, much like the one at the entrance to the car, to say thank you so much. While he was in Disneyland, he purchased a Mickey Mouse pocket watch, and when he died, he was laid to rest with it. I know the love of Mickey Mouse is my favorite. Now, this beautiful stand right here is called a smoking screen. A smoking screen is something that Lilly and Disney utilized regularly. Walt would sit on the trains. He smoked 8 packs of cigarettes a day. He was always puffing his cigarettes, while on many train trips his wife did not smoke. So Lillian would put that screen between them to keep the smoke out of her face. Brilliant woman, that Lillian. And it's a lucky one at that. She lived over 30 years longer than Walt Disney did. Walt died in his 60s. Lillian died in her 90s. So I think it's lucky. Now what I'm going to do, we have 4 groups on board today. I will separate you by group, and I will be happy to take photographs of you in the car. So I will have 3 stations to work with. Will be perfect. I'm just going to tell you ahead of time, most women, when we hear the story about that love seat, want to sit there for their pictures. So you might get stuck on a rotating seat.
That's fine.
And you'll have to understand. I'll tell you the story in just a minute. So I'm going to start this wonderful parlor chair and love seat. They came out of the Queen Mary. They came out of the Winston Churchill suite, which is cool. Very cool. The poor Winston Churchill will be overshadowed. We did have 3 grown men, celebrities at that. As I was saying, they were a little intoxicated. And they were playing in the park together, having a blast. The 3 of them tried to squeeze their butts into that love seat, and it didn't work out that way. So, we had Johnny Depp, Orlando Bloom, and Nicolas Cage.
2 of my favorite guys.
Which 2?
I'll stay. Nicolas Cage and Johnny Depp.
Okay, well,
I'll stay here.
Nicholas lost. Nicholas sat there. Johnny and Orlando sat there.
I'm fine with that.
As of last week, I was told by a tour guide that he did a Lilly Belle with Johnny Depp, and he sat there. So, yeah, they're good seats to sit in. I, as a woman,
That one's
sit on
empty.
the right side of that left seat, shimmy, slide down, and shimmy over here, because I don't know where Johnny sat. Now, why is there a half basketball court in the Matterhorn?
Oh yeah.
You knew about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, why do you think it is?
Something about the height ordinance.
Yes.
The city. Yeah.
Walt Disney was not a man that took no for an answer. Ever. There's always a way he could figure it out. It was brilliant. So, he went to the city of Anaheim and said, I need a building permit for my brand new Matterhorn Mountain, please. And they told him no. They told him no. They told him, Walt, you cannot have a building that tall unless it's a recreational center. Uh-oh. Okay? And I'll finish as soon as we come through Splashdown. Might be a great ride to ride after this train trip. So once Walt was told no, he went back to his Imagineers and said, build me a half basketball court in the Matterhorn. I'll be back. He came back, it was done. He went back to the city of Anaheim. Can I have my permit, please? And Walt was someone who did not take no for an answer for a very good reason. Nobody thought he would ever make a go to Disneyland. Nobody. Everybody was amazing. Walt, you can't do this. You can't do that. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. This poor guy had so much pressure on him. The only one who knew he could do it was his brother Roy. I did not know there was a Roy Disney until I started working here. They were partners always. Walt just was very comfortable in front of the cameras. Roy was not. Roy was quiet. Walt was the visionary, the genius, the dreamer. Roy was the financial genius. Walt would go, Roy, I want this and this and this and this. Roy would go, how am I supposed to pay for it? Walt said, I know you won't let me down, and he'd be out the door on the next thing. Well, Roy never did let him down. Everything he ever wanted, Roy made sure he had. Lillian, who would stand behind her husband no matter what, watching the man that she loved, selling everything he owned, mortgaging everything he owned. He was so far in debt that they didn't know he'd ever recover. But she stood by her husband. She said, well, I don't know what you're doing. That park is going to be like a carnival, and carnivals are dirty. So he promised his beautiful wife, I will never let Disneyland be dirty. And he kept that promise. Disneyland did not open Sundays and Mondays with walls. That park, this park, was immaculate. It was clean from top to bottom, spick and span. But when it was a Tuesday through Saturday, you were a guest sitting on a park bench in the park, and there's a chip in the paint. Oh no. That was fixed that night. If you were eating food and dropped to the floor, the custodian was there within 30 seconds to sweep it up. And in the beginning, Walt did not sell any food at this park that could be considered carnival food.
This is Toontown Depot.
Opening day, Walt says to a little boy, what do you think about my carousel? And the little boy goes, well, sir, I like it a lot, but you don't have any white horses. Well, that night, by some miracle, all the horses on the carousel turned white. And you cannot build a theme park in a year, Walt. It's impossible. Well, the smartest people in the world were the ones that told Walt Disney something was impossible. They were right. It did not take him 365 days to build Disneyland. It took him 257 for Disneyland to become a reality. He had a couple little stepping stones that got in his way. First had to do with the orange groves. You know we're built on orange groves, right? This land was a bunch of them. And Walt was pacing his orange groves. There's plenty of footage of it.
Thanks for joining us on the Disneyland
He knew
Railroad.
exactly what he wanted.
For a safe
He had
ride,
beautiful
remember
trees
to
on the
face
property.
east.
Some of them
If your
over 100 years
hands,
old.
arms, feet, and
He knew
legs
those would be perfect as a berm around the park and for struggle crews. So he put red ribbons around them. Red means stop. Don't touch them. The others got green ribbons. Green means go. Take them out. I don't mind at all.
Greek
Color. He hired a colorblind bulldozer driver.
You may want to take one more look.
Took everything. Every tree, every bush, every flower. Walt just kept going on to the next thing, didn't let it bother him. But the Imagineers started saying, we don't have anything aesthetically pleasing for the guests to look at. We have no flowers, Walt. What are we going to do? Walt said, do you see those weeds over there? I want you to take little plaques, put exotic names on them, stick them on the weeds. That's exactly what he did. Problem solved. Opening day. Walt, we know you have no shade, you have no trees, but we have a big problem. We have a plumber strike to deal with. So we're gonna I have to take away your bathrooms or your drinking fountains. What did they take? What did he give back? Bathrooms or drinking fountains? Gave back the drinking fountains. He made a mistake, said something that bit him in the butt. All the man said was, we'll keep the bathrooms, we always have Pepsi. Walt charged $1 admission. Wouldn't you think you got a Hope Diamond if you paid for this hardware $1? Walt was so far in debt, he wasn't looking to replenish his pocketbook overnight. He knew there were poor families that couldn't afford what the rich families couldn't afford. So he made it affordable so all parents could have fun with their children. The newspapers ripped him apart. He is a terrible man just trying to sell sodas. Autopia? Guests are in line for 2 hours to ride Autopia. Autopia is not on a rail back then. He asked me to get in the cars, they never come back. They came back when they felt like it. They didn't care about the 2-hour line people were standing in that weren't going to get on. Walt said, by the end of the day, he had one operating car. The rest were dead. Walt said, we gotta do something about that. He goes, okay, we're gonna put a rail down, and we're gonna put the car on the rail, and let them go, and we know they're coming back that way.
That worked.
He was so funny. He was so smart. I love Walt Disney. He cracks me up. Okay, so what did you ever put? So if you see pictures of Walt, you can either see there's a gap between the fingers, or there's a blur spot, or an anomaly. Something just isn't right. That's why. He never wanted to entice our children to smoke, folks. He had such brilliant ideas. I'm told this by Imagineering. So brilliant. The ideas that he had, they had to shelve many of them because technology wasn't where it needed to be to accommodate that. Now, they started to pull out those original ideas of Walt as technology caught up. He had a plasma television and a microwave oven in the house in the future. A box that could microwave my food and warm it up in less than an hour. So, a plasma television? How did he know back then? He was so smart. Now I'm going to turn the sound on in the car. I want you to experience Walt Disney's Grand Canyon and Primeval World, folks, the way he wanted you to experience it. Yes? I'm always so scared about this car. I'm so sorry, dear. This mural is 34 feet tall, 306 feet long, took 300 gallons of paint. Now the surprising fact, hand-painted by one man. A gentleman named Dumar Yoakum, it took him a year and a half to paint this. He was told it would be on display just a short time, but it was so popular they kept it 57 years.
That was the Grand Canyon as we know it today. But it wasn't always that way. Right now, as we travel back in time, back to the fantastic primeval world, land of the dinosaurs.
Walt Disney named 3 of these dinosaurs. I'm going to point them out to you now so you can address them by name on your next visit. Right around these trees. I got to go with you, Dewey and Louie. Before dawn, it's Walt Disney's favorite character.
We're now steaming back to our
Donald Duck. Walt made a bunch of war films to help keep the spirits of the soldiers up and also to try and do his part to try and end World War II. All of the films he made starred Donald Duck. I'd have bet my house it was Mickey Mouse. I was like, well, that's a silly question. It's Mickey Mouse. They said, I said, well, Oswald? Nope. Donald Duck. Yes, love this stuff. That is something. He is awesome, and he's got that little, he's always trying to lead the show. Down at the Opera House, there's a Steve Martin Donald Duck film called Disneyland, The First 50 Magical Years. Folks, do yourselves a favor. It's like 17 minutes long. You will laugh through the whole thing.
Where's it at?
Downstairs at the President Lincoln show, right downstairs on your right. It's in the lobby prior to Mr. Lincoln's show. They show you all of the old attractions, but Donald Duck is constantly trying to get the upper hand and host the show, and Steve Martin doesn't give him a leg to stand on.
Bye, Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp's
Is that what you
butt.
said?